Hello, beautiful, and welcome to your first day of your prayer portal. In closing out 2024 with consciousness and care and welcoming the most transformative year of 2025 to come. So 2025 is a number 9 year. Number 9 means that it is the final year in this past decade, which means that it is the year to reap. Reap means to receive all that you have lived in these last 8 years, to receive the wisdom nuggets and to begin to alchemize everything that maybe was shitty, maybe were just periods of stuckness and of just blah, and begin to alchemize those in order to receive the wisdom, receive the gold, and then to plant those back into the soil of your being, of your body, of the earth, in order for the next decade to have new fertile seeds. So we're going to begin with a prayer. And let me just address the elephant in the room. When I say God, you can just put the word AWE in between G and D, because that means the wild mystery. I don't know the exact definition of God, but I do know the experience of the ecstatic union of being and feeling united in God, in that wild mystery. I do know in my being and in my bones what that feels like. And may this prayer portal be that invitation for you to remember that you are your own sacred priestess. This portal that begins this next year, it's called the Priestess Prayer Portal. And the name of the portal is called Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis encompasses that transmutation that happens when we alchemize that we think that is lower than into that is united with all. That takes everything in and then transforms into a new sacred being, essence, thing. And so you don't have to have a PhD in priestessing and being a priestess. If that word scares you, just take it out. It just means you have your own sacred rite, R-I-T-E. You have your own sacred rite to remember that you are a whole, divine, worthy, sacred woman. No priest, no parent, no preacher needs to be the intermediary between you and your connection to your light, to love, and to the law that is created in the actions that you then live out. So we're gathering today on winter solstice. Winter solstice for the northern hemisphere. It is the darkest day. And how many of us have had the darkest moments where we feel alone, where we feel like we don't belong, or we're just unsure? I know I have had not only many, but I've had a very dark period in my life. And from that darkness, that silence, that retreat, those moments where we call out to God, those are the moments when we start to hear what we really were born to hear, to then act, create, and live out. And in the southern hemisphere, it's actually the summer solstice. It's the opposite. So the divine paradox exists in everything. Today, we also begin the first day of 9 days of being together. And number one in numerology is first, that first burst, the first budding of creation. In astrology, that would be Aries season. So the third month and the fourth month. And so that number one, it's like the person that goes, I'm going to go first. So it's that contract that you had with life, that you were going to be born, that you wanted to come, that there was something for you to do here. So this portal is to remind you that in every single area of your life, you can transmute if things feel stuck, stagnant, and just stale. That you can begin and you have pure permission to transmute those, to alchemize them, and to create more art, more love, more passion, more products, whatever it is that you want to create, more connection, more actions, healthier lifestyle. It doesn't matter which avenue you're entering into to give to yourself. But I'm going to give you some exercises and some tools in these next 9 days in order to support you in creating more awareness, that you can grant yourself the permission that you have been yearning in every area of your life to start or to continue to create the life that you truly have desired and dream of. And stop waiting for someone else to do it for you. Stop blaming others. So taking a couple of moments and today, since this is our first day together, number one, like I said in numerology, is independence, motivation, inspiration, creativity, drive. And it's also in the chakra system. It's our first chakra. So it's the union within us, with our tribe, with our family. So this prayer is to support us in thanking and clearing out what we need to this year. God, thank you for all of those around us, around me, since this is the first day and I am here and I choose myself in my life and those around me. Even if I say I didn't choose them, I chose them because I'm still alive. I came through them. Their lineage is in my bones. So God, thank you for blessing me with those who have brought me here, with those who still show up in whatever way they can to give to me. And as if I am in the center of the sun or a mandala or a circle, and I have all of those people around me, from my father's side to my mother's, to anyone who supports me in the day-to-day, to help me to feel safe. Number one in our chakra system is about safety and security. But first and foremost, may I remember that I am that who I am looking for. I am that I am. I invite you to face your lineage from your feminine line. I invite you to face them and tangibly receive what gifts they have bestowed upon you. What quirks, what gifts, what positive traits. And I want you to take them and receive them fully. Thank them as you start to see also them taking a step backwards. And when they take a step backwards, notice them also taking that could have been hurtful, that did not serve you for the highest good. And you're going to do the same thing with your masculine line. Thank them for all of the gifts that have come through that line directly into your being. And as you receive those gifts, you also start to feel them taking a step backwards and giving you more space, and them holding and receiving that was not for you, that was not meant for you to carry and to hold in that lineage. As you surrender back and give back to them that no longer serves you or was yours to begin with. Thank them for seeing that is actually not yours, that is theirs. That you have a whole tribe in front of you, behind them, receiving all of that and setting you free with the gifts that are passed down. May I remember to grant myself permission to give to myself that my ancestors could not give to themselves. As hard as it may be sometimes, as much as I might fight the things that I must do to actually stay in alignment and want this aliveness to come online, I devote this coming year to coming more into my gifts. And from one of those gifts, as we close our session for today, notice which one of those gifts most calls out to you. I'm going to give you an example in my life. In the last couple of years, as I was going through, well, the last couple of years I've been more of an integration and embodiment process, but the years before that, I was receiving new soul gifts, and they came through in the form of words and phrases and poems. But the years before that were dark night of the soul years. And so notice the progression of me receiving. And now those gifts of words that I've always known were inside of me. My name actually means to be heard. So my parents somehow knew to name me that. And many times I haven't known how to use my voice. Many times I've stayed silent. But now it's actually a time for me to share more publicly my words, my gifts. Not just with pen and paper. So ask yourself, what gift of yours is wanting to be received more this year? Ask it, what do you want? What do you want from me? How can I serve you? Ask it, what's one thing I can do to give to you, to please you, to bring more aliveness in my body as I invite you in? And so if you'd like to write it down, you can write down either those words or images that come through. Like what is that action step? What is that practice that's wanting you to partake in? And see if in the next 24 hours, and that might be too much, too quickly, but see if in the next 24 hours you can actually do that you heard. And as we close, I'm going to leave you with the three tenets or themes or words that we're going to be talking a lot of. And notice the number 3, and today's 21. 21 in numerology is a number of rebirth, of renewal. And it also means harmony and connectedness and union. So notice that 2, say the I and the you, or the male and the female, or the sun and the earth, creates one, creates that union between the two. Or if you add them, obviously, it makes the 3. And it's like the child, the mother, father, child. And so these 3 words are the 3 words that are going to accompany us these 9 days. So we can begin to notice how they are played out in every single area of our life. So number 1, it's prayer. Obviously, this is a prayer portal, so prayer should be there. Permission and practice. Prayer is that call out to life. It's the allowing ourselves to become that vehicle that opens itself up to divine interconnectedness that will then grant ourselves permission like a mother. So the prayer is like the mystic. The permission is like a mother, where we grant ourselves permission to remember what that interconnectedness has to tell us. Like, for example, I know that this might be complicated to understand, but for example, if I personally, Jimena, know that I need more silent time in my life in order to make these recordings, make my poetry, have transmission time where I receive my gifts, the mother is I have to grant myself permission. I have to say no to my beautiful family. I have to say no to being a mother to them, a manager to our schedule. I have to say no to feeling shame. I have to say no to feeling the guilt. I have to say no to anything else that leaks my attention. I have to grant myself permission for that gives me pleasure. And the practice is the actual making of the art, making of the words, making of whatever it is that you're wanting to create. The practice is the action. So do you see how those three are interconnected in everything that we do? It could be like exercising. It can be anything. Eating more healthy or having more time. Forgiving our mother or our father. Making more money, like in every single area of our life. So as we close, thank yourself, thank your lineage, and thank that little message that you received of your tangible to-do. Think of it as your art. Your art is waiting for you. Remember that you are not alone. You are all in one. All in one is what the etymology, what the symbolism for the word alone means. So just like we were born through our mothers, we come out alone, but yet we are never alone because we are all in one, which brings us back to that first mystical truth of we are all interconnected. Thank you, beautiful, blessed one. Have a beautiful day. See you tomorrow.